today's video, we'll talk about the Bearfacts of Ripley's Believe It or Not and learn more about this unbelievable attraction. Welcome to Bearfacts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. Many people who have visited large cities and major tourist destinations are familiar with this global iconic attraction. Ripley's has been in Gatlinburg since May 30th, 1970 and has held that ground for 50 years, drawing people in with the lure of mystery and something a little weird. So what's the fascination with this attraction and why is it able to survive in so many top destinations in the world? Well, that question is really not one I can give an answer to, and I don't pretend to understand how this museum of oddities keeps their doors open when so many others fail. What I can say is that I myself have been drawn to each and every location that I have stumbled upon. From St. Augustine, Orlando, Niagara Falls, and even New York before they closed their doors, I've been there. Each time I complain about the price and how much of a tourist trap they are, yet I keep dishing out the high price and walking through those doors, turnstiles, anytime I see one. Like many people, I'm continued to be lured by their grand, unique entrances and over-the-top architecture, as well as the mystery of the bizarre treasures they promise inside. The Ripley's in Gatlinburg is on the corner of Parkway and Reagan Drive. It's tucked up against the Gatlinburg Space Needle, which acts like a perfect beacon, drawing your eye from miles away. The facade is a careful collage of cute forest creatures and grand old tree trunks tucked up against the imitation moss-covered stone walls. There has been some attempt to avoid being too garish, refraining from giving in to architecture that would stand out from the natural settings at the foot of the Smoky Mountains National Park. Instead, you get the sense that you're walking up to a giant cartoon caption. Come inside and see what we have to offer. If this offends you and makes you feel like they've cheapened the experience and majesty of the mountains, I'm sure you would find just as many people who think that the quaint charm of the facade keeps with the tone of the town and what it offers. I'm of the mind that Ripley's doesn't care, as long as people keep coming and the doors, turnstiles, keep moving. Either way, Ripley's has created a formula that works. People keep coming. And if you've been to at least one other Ripley's, then you know that each location seems to have some of the same things. They all have a mermaid monkey, a two-way mirror that shows people on the other side making weird faces, and they always have shrunken heads. Probably the most important thing is that each location offers something that is unique to that specific region and the area they serve. But if you are from Gatlinburg or are a Ripley's nerd, you might be aware that this is not the original building. The Smoky Mountains are very familiar with the impact and devastation of fires, and Ripley's was a sad victim of such a catastrophe. In 1992, due to faulty lighting, most of the building and subsequently the valuable artifacts inside were destroyed. At least 12 other businesses in the surrounding area also suffered through the fire. These images show what the building looked like before the fire and renovations. As you can see, Ripley's made some major changes after the fire. Their bigger is better philosophy was clearly honored in Gatlinburg this time. One little side note that many people don't realize about this location is that there is another kind of Easter egg hunt you can do. Look for articles that say, "I survived the fire." After the fire in '92, Ripley was able to save some of the original items. These items are identified with labels and are located around the museum. I didn't learn about this fact until I started doing the research for the video, so I don't have any photos. Please let me know in the comments if you find any of these Easter eggs. So one of the charms of Ripley's in Gatlinburg is how much of the museum is on display without having to pay a dime to see it. The giant gorilla and human animatronic in the lobby are very eye-catching. I'm ashamed to admit to being drawn to that human puzzle piece. I often stop and just stand in front of Ripley's in weird fascination as it breaks apart and reassembles over and over again. The heart in the middle is an excellent touch, making you ponder the deeper meaning. Okay, so maybe not that much deeper, but come on, that's just weird and so fascinating. Though they do change out the front lobby feature pieces at times, the human animatronic seems to be a staple piece, and I hope they keep it for a long time. It's really hypnotic. I won't go into pricing and payment methods, but I do suggest that you do a little research into the area before purchasing your tickets. Ripley's has a lot of attractions in the area, and if you're going to be there for a full day or more, getting the combo pack really does save money. Since most people prioritize the aquarium and the museum, which are pretty close to one another, adding another attraction to your combo gives you a really good discount. Another advantage to getting a combo pass besides saving money is that even if you don't use all the passes you paid for on this vacation, they are still good for the year past the purchase date. If you look closely at the ticket we used in this video, you might notice that the ticket is very worn down. That's because I've been carrying it around for almost a year before using it. One huge warning before heading into the museum: they don't allow visitors to bring in liquids, at least open containers. So make sure you drink your coffee before heading in, or you will be asked to wait outside or dump it. Because there are already so many videos out there that show you all the fun things that Ripley has to offer in much greater detail and depth, I'm going to just stick to the highlights and just give you an overview of the museum. It's not my goal to ruin the experience by oversharing my thoughts and giving you too much information. So after you've paid and finished guzzling down your scalding hot coffee in record time to avoid weeping about the wasted $7 on a hot mocha at Starbucks, you will be directed to take the elevator to the top floor. On the ride up, you will be given your first warning that the only bathroom that Ripley's has is on the top floor. You might think I'm a little obsessed with bathrooms since I made an entire video about them in Gatlinburg already, but these bathrooms are kind of fun. Even if you don't have to go, I suggest heading there. The first floor the elevator drops you off at, you'll find many fun and unique interactive attractions. Ripley's has invested in the past as well as the future. They like to incorporate newer technologies and old artifacts to provide a more interesting experience. Children and adults are drawn to the different exhibits. If you have a party member that loves to read, there is a lot of reading you can do, as the museum gives descriptions and interesting facts about the things you're looking at. If you have a younger audience, there are hidden nooks and fun interactive exhibits that will keep their attention, at least for a few minutes. Ripley's provides plenty of exciting photo opportunities, including an astronaut and giant chair. I'm always fascinated with forced perspective rooms and am amazed at just how by changing the size and angle in a space, you can completely alter the depth in that room. After balancing over the rope bridge, looking at weird things that Ripley's conned people into shipping to them, trying to squeeze into a tiny box, yeah, you just have to see it to believe it, and debating the life and struggles of the real people who these stories talk about, you finally stumble on the bathrooms. If you do see the stairs, you've gone too far though. The strange man talking to you from the women's bathroom mirror is something you might find oddly fascinating. I suggest you take a stop and peek inside before heading down those stairs. There is an elevator to take you to the next level down, but if you're mobile enough to use the stairs, this is a better option. You might enjoy some of the fun facts the museum put on the walls to entertain you as you walk down the stairs to the next level. Each floor has more fun and interesting exhibits, from a jail cell of light-up boxes to a shark submarine. Ripley seems to never run out of people who can do strange or have unusual talents. Perhaps the biggest draw for some is the giant replica of Harry Potter's Hogwarts castle made from matchsticks. The museum does a great job of using lighting and special effects, making common items like mirrors do fun and interesting things. On the atrium level, you can find one of my favorite examples of forced perspective. If you're like me, you might also be fascinated with this weird cube painting sculpture thingy. Across the atrium that gives you a view of the front lobby from 2 stories above, you will also spot a graffiti wall. If you're old enough to remember the fall of the Berlin Wall, you might find this piece of history far more fascinating than if you are too young to even remember the Teletubbies. And don't worry about your little ones getting bored. There are plenty of interactive things that will keep their attention. A lot of the activities are hands-on, so bring plenty of hand sanitizers if this is a concern. Ripley's does attempt to pay homage to the Gatlinburg area. There's an entire area dedicated to learning more about the Smoky Mountains. They have a large interactive map of the Smoky Mountains region, and they pay homage to the extensive cavern system that litter the Tennessee state and outer line areas. Of course, since this is Gatlinburg, you might find a bear waiting at your door if you look hard enough. Your final descent will take you back to the outside world, where the strange and unusual aren't contained in plastic display cases with neat labels. The last floor is going to be the hardest to get past if you have young kids. An arcade of colorful lights, candy, and souvenirs await unsuspecting parents. This exit is Ripley's last-ditch effort to provide you with another opportunity to swipe your credit card or uncrinkle your money. So, is it worth your time or money to go to Ripley's Believe It or Not in Gatlinburg? Once again, I think that making this decision is entirely based on what you're looking for in your vacation. If it's a rainy day, or you need to take a break from the sweltering heat or blistering cold of the day, then Ripley's might be the perfect distraction. If you have already been to a Ripley's from another state and felt that it was not worth the price, this one won't change your mind. The format is the same, and though there are a few differences, it might not be enough to make the stop worth your time or money. I personally feel that it's a steep price for one attraction, but if you add the combo pack, then it starts to become a better deal. Also, if your family or companions take their time and really stop to look at the exhibits, get plenty of humor from the antics, and fill your cameras with lots of goofy group shots, the money is well spent, and I feel that it might be worth the price. As I've already said before, Ripley's has taken my time and money at many locations. I keep getting drawn by their excellent marketing strategies, colorful presentations, and the allure of the strange and unusual things they offer inside. Most importantly, it's the escape into a new world or a change of perspective into the world we live in that really draws me in. This isn't for everyone, but many of you feel the same exact way and will probably walk through the doors just the same. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so that I can continue to produce fun and amazing videos as we explore the Smoky Mountains together.